I'm Reetika Fleming, Executive Research Leader at HFS, and your host today for an insightful videocast we have planned on the future of procurement and its value to the organization. With me today, I have Kris Koneru, Strategic Business Practice Head for Sourcing and Procurement at Infosys BPM, and Saurabh Gupta, President, Research and Advisory Services at HFS. So let's dig in. To aid our discussion, we'll be referring in a few points on a brand new study that we just published at HFS in partnership with Infosys BPM. We surveyed over 300 senior procurement executives across the Global 2000 about the changing role of CPOs and the opportunities ahead. So to kick us off, Kris, could you tell us a little bit about what is the North Star for CPOs today?
In my assessment, the new North Star for the CPOs, and as well as in the light of the findings from the survey as well, the new North Star would be how does procurement become a board level function, and to leverage the combined capabilities of procurement to become the ecosystem builder of the enterprise and leverage that capability to become a board level function. So to me, that would be the new North Star for CPOs and the procurement organization going forward.
Saurabh?
No, I completely agree with Kris. If you look at the enterprise, there is no other function that has the skills and the capabilities to build an ecosystem together, right? Because procurement is the one who deals with all our vendors and suppliers and builds partnerships, right? Now, why should procurement restrict itself to just the vendor landscape? It can help in driving strategic partnerships to create completely new sources of value for organizations. And that's the concept that we tested of, can procurement be that ecosystem builder for the enterprise? And I think there was an overwhelming, almost 90% of the procurement executives that we surveyed says, yes, we can absolutely go for that ambition. But having said that, it's not that easy.
So yeah, why is it challenging? What did our study show on what's holding people back?
So I'll give you my 2 cents. Yeah, Kris, why don't you go first?
Sure.
Yeah, so I think the some of the challenges is also legacy, right? So at any point in time, whenever we think that there is a new role and there is a new North Star, there is always some of the legacy issues because we are not starting on a fresh slate. And some of the legacy issues are to do with, I would say, missed opportunities, both on the process debt side and as well as in leveraging all the opportunities for digitizing procurement, which for various reasons have not been or could be leveraged better. So in my view, that is some of those legacy issues which are holding back. And 2, I think procurement needs to look beyond as well, right? So like we have said in the survey results as well, that procurement needs to become not only just a good buyer, but a good seller as well, right? So how is procurement positioning itself while leveraging and deploying the enhanced capabilities that it is expected to? How is it positioning itself and marketing itself or selling itself within the organization so that then some of those challenges can be overcome?
Yeah, I completely agree with Kris. I think those are the 2 big themes, as Kris mentioned. Call it the legacy or call it there is a process debt. Almost 60% of the procurement executives that we reached out to said that our processes across the S2P value chain are not optimized, right? And if that's not the case, then where do they have the time to be the ecosystem builder? They're doing firefighting every day in and day out. They're not using emerging technologies. Procurement continues to be a laggard in leveraging some of the cloudification, automation, AI, cognitive assistants, even blockchain. There are so many different use cases of these emerging technologies, but procurement continues to be a laggard. But I think the most important thing is what Kris said is the mindset. Procurement executives consider themselves to be great buyers. They're great at negotiating good rates, but now they need to develop a marketing hat, and how do they sell their capabilities internally? They have to. The rest of the organization needs to realize their value before they can do that, and I think that's perhaps the hardest challenge.
Got it. So is anybody doing this well, right? And did our survey show any, say, golden nuggets of CPOs that are learning how to balance this dual role of managing cost interests and then also looking to partner externally? Saurabh?
So very few. We asked this question, and only about 10% or 15% of the survey respondents rated themselves as procurement champions. These were the superheroes that are on their road to become these ecosystem builders. But the rest are still struggling with some of those basics that Kris articulated very well, the legacy issues, etc. But I think if you start to compare these 15% with the rest of the respondents, there are some real golden nuggets that come out. Maybe Kris, you want to articulate some of them.
I think there are some of those progressive procurement organizations who have seized the right opportunities at the right moment. They have achieved a great amount of maturity in terms of being automating and utilizing all the opportunities to automate. So we know of some of those organizations which, for example, have automated more than 80-90% of their, say, P2P part of the functions, and that itself is a good achievement and a good beginning in this journey. And similarly, there are other organizations which are fairly advanced in terms of their sourcing maturity as well. So I think it is about bringing all this together. Right now, it looks to be, and one of the telling, say, insights is that more than 80-85% of the respondents are themselves viewing, their own view about themselves is that they are not the leaders. So that itself shows that procurement is not yet confident enough of saying that, yes, we all have all the capabilities and we are ready to take on. It would have been great if, if probably the procurement team felt that, well, we are already ahead, but the rest of the organization may not have felt that. But if the team itself feels that, no, we are far behind on the curve, then that means there is a fairly significant gap to fill.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you compare these leaders, I think Kris rightly articulated, one is their use of digital technologies. I think the other thing that I picked up was the operating model itself. I think they're believing in a big sort of, we're calling it the fluid operating model, Reetika, wherein, this issue of talent is a big issue for procurement professionals. We still don't have universities who teach procurement as a curriculum, right? And so people learn on the job, basically. All of us who've been in procurement roles learn it on the jobs, and so you need a fluid operating model, and within that, the role of third parties becomes quite important because, I was talking to one of the CPOs, and he told me, procurement wants to outsource everybody else but themselves, right? And I think that's the mindset shift that needs to change, is how do you build a fluid operating model where you can get the skills to become this ecosystem builder from a talent perspective, and there you have to leverage third parties, be it consulting players, be it BPO players, be it technology players, to augment some of these legacy issues that they are facing. Otherwise, we are looking at a 10-year journey, and by that time, nobody knows where we'll be.
Yeah, you're right. This starts at the operating model design itself.
Yeah, and we had and we still have a very good opportunity in terms of the disruption that the pandemic caused, and everybody was forced into a fluid operating model, right? And a distributed operating model versus the traditional operating models which were there. And in terms of collaboration, in terms of technology, multiple things which everybody was forced into adopting and adapting as well. So are all the procurement organizations using that as a foundation or as a platform to really think very differently from the way procurement was being done? Probably that's still an opportunity which procurement functions can leverage and really change into the procurement organization of the future.
Mhm. So, Kris, how should procurement leaders think about their talent and skill sets for the future?
It has to be, like I just mentioned, that there has to be a very different way of evaluating and thinking about. Firstly, we should look at that. Is this the North Star that we're aiming for, right? So once that is clear that yes, we have to position ourselves, we have to do a lot of very different things and do it in a very different manner than it has been done before. Once that realization is there, I think the need and the realization that it needs a different set of talent would also come about. But yes, it certainly, so are there people who are thinking and working and operating in a very with a digital mindset, with a sustainability mindset, with a risk mindset versus just the pure play focus on either savings or on fulfilling the requirements which the stakeholders have. So I think that is where the traditional thinking needs to be disrupted, whether by reorienting the existing set of people or by bringing in a fresh set of talent. Either way, there is a huge opportunity to bring those changes about.
Great. And Saurabh, picking on what Kris said, so how can a focus on sustainability also help procurement leaders start to play into this new role a little bit?
I think procurement has a huge role in sustainability. In fact, I believe that procurement organizations can lead the enterprise level sustainability initiatives. I think it's a great opportunity because sustainability is already a board level conversation. It is a great opportunity for procurement to latch onto that and show that they can make a difference. From small things like looking at sustainable, diverse supplier base, to looking at the enterprise carbon accounting, to looking at the ESG initiatives, from not just from a sustainability perspective, but diversity, inclusion, equality, looking at minority-owned businesses. And I just feel that instead of looking at it as a challenge, they should look at it as an opportunity to raise their game. And again, sustainability requires an ecosystem. It takes a village to drive sustainability. It can't be just 5 people in an organization thinking about sustainability. It requires a cultural change, not just within your enterprise, but outside your enterprise, across the entire supply chain. And I feel procurement has a fantastic opportunity. They just need to grab it and show that they can lead it, not just follow what's been told to them.
I love it. So it's really molding the role of procurement in an entirely new light, prioritizing new sources of value, internal and external to the organization.
Absolutely.
Right. That's all we had time for today. So thank you so much, Saurabh, Kris, and thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this discussion, make sure you go and check out this brand new study we did tons of nuggets in there on where procurement is today and this idea of an ecosystem builder. and find us on LinkedIn and other social media to share your thoughts as well. Thank you and have a great day.